Okay, let's talk about this ruling. Obviously, we know Mehek Cooke has wanted cameras in this courtroom. This is a hearing, July 6th through the 10th. Prosecutors lay out their evidence. Mehek, I'm going to start with you. Why would this jeopardize his right to a fair trial?
Well, I think the defense is just arguing that any prejudicial information can immediately taint a jury pool, and that's what they're hoping for. Individuals that don't know what happened to Charlie Kirk, individuals that will fall for false narratives about the assassination attempt. But this is where the bar is so high, Bianca. There's already Supreme Court precedent that the defense has a very high bar to actually convince a judge that this is a case where we shouldn't have an open hearing. Transparency is key, and that's why our courts were built.
Let's talk about that. I'm glad you went there. So State District Judge Tony Graff, he's the one that made this decision, Judge, and it mirrors a decision that Mehek was sort of just going towards, where the defense previously tried to close all or part of this, but the judge in this case says the defense failed to show that a public hearing would create an issue. So here we are. Now the judge has another big decision to make. Do they actually pause proceedings while this goes to an appeal?
Well, the appeal can be done very quickly, and it'll probably quickly be rejected. The judge did absolutely the right thing. The public absolutely has the right to know every aspect of the government's case. The judge has the duty to find a panel of jurors who are not so tainted. You don't want people that live under rocks and don't even know what happened to Kirk. You don't even want people that are totally ignorant of the basic case. You just want people who have an open mind, who can be fair, and will only convict when evidence has been produced beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. That requires effort on the part of the judge, but it's not impossible, and it happens every day.
I also want to get your take, Mehek, on the appeal and pausing it. This already seems to be somewhat of a slow-moving trial. Everyone saw that video of Charlie's assassination, most people. When you look at sort of where we're at in the process and obviously the right to obviously have this defendant have the fair trial, but also to Judge Knapp's point, detailed juror questionnaires, the path forward. So there's actually some justice here because let's face it, this has been taking quite a while just to get to where we are.
Bianca, you're right. And I think this is where it's a fair and speedy trial, but the defense doesn't want speedy. The defense wants to continue to stretch this out because they're looking for an iota of evidence that could potentially release Robinson. When we have clear evidence, you've seen the evidence, whether it was on social media, on television, how horrific this case was. But the defense really doesn't have a strong legal posture, and that's why they're looking at procedural. What can they do to delay the case? What small wins can they have to actually take, and this is a strategy, I believe, the death penalty off the table so that they can create reasonable doubt. This is why there's so many procedural hurdles they're trying to put the prosecutor to. But to Judge Knapp's point, if we just look at the appeal, this can be done in a speedy manner, and transparency should be allowed for Mehek Cooke, Turning Point, and millions of Americans and international community. We need to make sure that we have justice.
And